Hello, today for the first video we're going to be learning about geometry. Now what is geometry? Geometry is the study of shapes. An infinite number of shapes that you can make really, but today we're just going to be talking about three shapes. Those are squares, triangles, and rectangles. Now squares have sides that are all an equal length. So they're all equal. And rectangles, however, have two have different sides with different lengths. So these two sides would have the same length, and these two sides would have a different length, but the same for the both of them. So, and as for triangles, you have multiple forms of triangles, but we're just going to be focusing on ones that have sides that are all equal for today. For now, at least. Now, these shapes have properties. One of those is a perimeter. Now, a perimeter is basically the outside part of the shape. So, basically, the lines that make up the shape. Now, a perimeter can be calculated with adding all the sides together. So, for a square, since all the sides are the same length, the formula would be 4 times s for side. For a rectangle, since it has 4 sides with two of each having the same length, it would be 2L plus 2W, L for length, W for width. Now for triangles, it's just the same, like all three sides added up. So for this triangle with all the equal sides, it would be 3S per side. Okay, now, and another property the shapes have is area, which is basically the amount of space the shapes take up. Now, area is calculated by length times width. So for squares, it would be so for squares and rectangles, it would be the same. So length times width. As for triangles, though, since a triangle is technically can be imagined as a half of a shape with 4 sides. So using this information, what we would do is we would give the same equation, uh, which would be, but the terms would be different. So this part would be called the base, and this line here would be called the height. So it'd be base times height divided by 2. That's the area of a triangle. Now, yes, now let's go. Now let's do some problems on these shapes. So for a square, so a square has all equal sides. So our first problem right now is there's a square and it has a side length of 2 meters. Now now what would be the area of the square? Well, we know the area is the length times the width. But since the square has all equal sides, you can just do 2 times 2. So area would equal to 2 times 2, which will equal to 4. So the area is equal to 4. And for, since you have units here, it would be 4 meters squared. Now, for a rectangle, since they have two sets of two sides, with each set having sides with the same length, so for this problem, we'd have a length of 4 meters and then a width of 2 meters. Now since triangles, as you can see, like this side and that side are equal, this side and this side are also equal. So for an area, it would be the same as a square, so length times width, which would equal, so that would be area is equal to 4 times 2, which would equal to 8. So area would be equal to 8. And since we have units, it's again 8 meters squared. Now, for the perimeter for these shapes, so a perimeter, as you remember, is all the sides added up. So since the square has all equal sides, we just put the formula here for S. So what would that be? So we plug in S with 2. So that would be 4 times 2, which would be 8. So the perimeter would be 8 meters. And you don't really square the unit for perimeter. Now, for a perimeter for a rectangle, we can see our formula here. 2L plus 2W. So we substitute those. So 2 times 4 plus 2 times 2, which would be equal to, so we have 2 times 4, which is 8, plus 2 times 2, which is 4, so that's 12. So perimeter would be equal to 12 meters. Now for triangles, however, since we have a triangle with all equal sides, this question is rather simple. So we have a triangle and its length, or side length, or just side, is equal to 2 meters. Okay, so our perimeter, as you see from our formula, which was 3S, it would be 3 times 2, which would be equal to 6. So perimeter is 6 meters. Now, as for the area, however, since we can see our formula, it is base times height divided by 2. So, but the problem is we don't know our height. So, and there's ways to calculate the height without knowing it, which that height would be, let's say, equal, like same, okay? So area is base times height divided by 2. So then that would be 2 times 2 divided by 2. So 2 times 2 is 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. So area is equal to 2 meters squared. Now, yes, that is basically the intro for our shapes today and how to calculate their perimeters and areas. I will see you in